Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Um, Today we're going to do the weekly budget, or my bi-weekly budget. I get paid every 2 weeks and this was my last paycheck for May. Next month is a magic month, yay! 3 paychecks. I also had um, an unexpected amount of extra income come in this month. So forgive this if it is a little hard to read. Maybe that'll help. Um, when I created these sheets, I created them to be in color, but I could not get the color printer to work, so I had to use a laser printer, which is why they look a little crappy. So we're going to start off with my full time. Um, I didn't do an actual budgeted amount because normally I would, but my budget, I almost always know exactly what my paycheck's going to be. And my paycheck is $845 every 2 weeks. After taxes, after retirement, and all of that. This month, um, I also got a bonus, which is not something that's ever happened. We get a Christmas bonus. It's about my Christmas bonus is about the same. So that's kind of just uh, that's kind of extra. I was surprised. I was very grateful because Lord knows I need it. Um, so that means that I have a total of $1,104 this month. And then let me get these papers and I'm going to show you how I used to do my budget. Alright, so this whole stack of papers here is like they go until 2026. And this is how I planned out how I was going to pay this off. So this was my last check. So with this check, we have I have the same bills. So and just a refresher, I have $17,930 of debt, not including my student loans. But I'm not going to worry about them at the moment because I can't. I can't bother to be worried about them. So I don't make a whole lot. I would consider this low income, especially considering that this is not what I bring home. It's usually this $845 every 2 weeks, and there are two of us. My partner does work. His work is variable. He works outside on farms and I don't know how would you. He's an agricultural worker, I guess. Like he does a lot of weed eating, a lot of mowing, a lot of cleaning out fence lawns, and he used to bring in really good money, but because of inflation, people don't want to pay or don't have the extra money to pay anymore, so he still works. It's just not as much, and because it's so variable, I can't count his income. So we pay everything out of my check, and if there's extra, he'll usually buy groceries or something like that, like whatever he brings in, because it's just so volatile at the moment. So with this paycheck, we're going to have to pay rent, my car insurance, and we have 4 cars. Only 3 of them are insured. The other one we don't drive. Mine, the financed one, and then we have 2 cars, a Nissan truck and a Ford Explorer that we own outright. And he drives the truck. The Explorer is sometimes he will use it just to keep it off, but that is basically our extra vehicle. The other vehicle is a Dodge Neon, which is a standard. I can drive it. I hate driving it, but just because of my arthritis, it's hard on me. But we don't currently have it insured because he's not currently driving it. So we have that car insurance, and then we have a family. Um, I just refer to it as family insurance. And so what this is it's a cancer plan for me and an accident plan for him because he works on a farm if something should happen to him. The other thing I pay out of this paycheck is Mariner Finance, which is a personal loan that I had taken out. I used it to buy our Ford Explorer, but it doesn't have a lien on it. Now, the only reason that this budget even works and that we're able to live is because that's what my rent is. $450. Because our rent is $450, which is so ridiculously cheap. It's only because he's lived here for 13 years. That's the only reason that rent is that. So that's our rent. That also includes all of our utilities. We don't have to pay any utilities. So there's that. It's $450. Then I have to look up the exact amounts of these other payments. So my car insurance is rounded up 147. And most of that is my car because my car has full coverage. But this is the price of my car alone. Adding the other two gave me they were free just to insure. So that was nice because this is what I was paying when it was just my car. And then family insurance is $56 a month. And then Mariner, I round it up. It's 128. 128.04 is the actual amount, but because I pay it online, they charge me service fees for that. Because why wouldn't they? So all that equals up to $784. Now, the way our budget works is I will always pay all of our bills over anything else. If we have to go without food, it just is what it is. I refuse to default on these bills. I worked really hard to get my credit back up, and to pay off things and let things allow time for things to fall off my credit report. I refuse to default on my debts if I don't have to. If the event happens, if it comes time and I absolutely have to default on something, I will default. But until then, absolutely not happening. So I'm going to go ahead and write this down here in this budget review, which you can't see very well because printers are stupid. So we have $1,104 in income. We have $784 in bills. Now, normally my grocery budget is like $40 to $60. That has to cover everything. That has to cover my animals, that has to cover our food, and that has to cover our gas, and that's for 2 weeks. That's why in the last video I said that I would probably never completely pay the Sam's Club card off because I'm going to have to use it. And unfortunately, that seems to be the case with some of these too. I will get paid off. Like this Capital One. No, this Chase. I bought tires with it, and then my dog had a medical emergency. And it was $300 just for the emergency vet, not considering that was just for him to see the vet. That's not counting all the medicine that they sent him home with, his subsequent vet visits, and all that. Plus, just normal living. Let's not lie about it, just normal living. So, because of this, my lowest debt is $303, which is not enough. I don't have enough out of this 1104 to pay this off, or to pay that 303 off right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save for food, for an expense. I'm going to do food. I'm going to do $100, and then for Azteca, which is the dog, he's getting his nails cut this week. He won't let me cut him. He tries to bite me. We're going to do $20 because he has to go to the groomer to get his nails cut. I'll give him a bath here. That's fine. I think it's $11, but that's what we're going to go with. And then gas. And gas is about 40. So that's 160. So I have 160 in expenses. So any sinking funds, and right now I'm not putting anything towards debt. I'm just going to hold that money in the bank until I can actually do something with it, because I don't want to pay these taxes off in pieces. I want to pay it off in one giant chunk. That way, whenever they send me like a bill that says I owe interest or fees or whatever, I can be like, well, I paid this off, and I have the letter that shows that I filed for an extension, but y'all never sent me any paperwork, so I just paid this amount. So I don't want it to be broken down. I want it to be nice, clean, and simple. So that leaves me with I'm gonna make sure. My income 1104, 784 in bills, 160 in expenses, which leaves me with $160. And I'm just going to hold that in the bank until we get the next paycheck, which I believe is June the 2nd. So I made these sheets. I like these sheets. I just wish they'd printed out in color. I colored them because I don't mind. So I'm going to show you some of the things. This is my transaction log, and I'm just going to keep track of things. I need to add Little Caesars on there because we very rarely eat out, but last night we had Little Caesars. This is my 100 envelope challenge, and I know it's hard to read them. I had to go back in and darken some of them up. The difference with this $100 or this 100 envelope challenge and the ones that you see on other videos is this will not equal to $1,000 or whatever. This is 20 envelopes 1 through 5. So the ones have 20 envelopes. The $2 have 20 envelopes, $3 20 envelopes, so on and so forth. This, if my math was correct, is $300, which is what I need to get my dog fixed. And Azteca is a special dog because not everything is outside of his body, and I need to get him fixed. So that's what this is for. And I'm not going to put in envelopes either. I'm just going to save it and then color these little envelopes. And I was going to go ahead and like fix them, like darken them up. But the problem with that is that if I darken them up, that whenever I go to color on them with another marker, it's going to smear. So I was like, well, we'll just do it one at a time. So hopefully y'all can see that. I can barely see the camera while I'm doing this, so forgive me if we're a little too up close and personal. So this is the total debt overview. And I'm just going to create like a chart, like a bar graph. And so I'll take this 17,930 and I'll break it down, and I might not do it for this month. I might do it for June. And what I'll probably do is I'll do it at the very end of the month. Because it's always going to be revolving. It's only going to drop by like $20 just because those interest rates are so high. But I'll show you what I'm talking about once we get to that. And then I made these other little debt trackers. Like this one's going to be for my unemployment. There are 14 pieces, including the letters. So that's about $50 a letter. And then, so I have that one. I have this one that says debt free just because I couldn't think of anything else to put there. This one's for my Chase Slate. This, there you go, y'all. We're still zoomed in. This debt tracker, which is just a lady with flowers on her. This is for Lindmark. They're 90 pieces. Each one of these is $109. Paid off. Merrick Bank. Coloring piece. Capital One. And then for Mariner. And I decided to do these because while I can get down with the other trackers, I understand. I am not necessarily a colorful person. I'm very much into like black and gray and kind of monochromatic. I do like certain pops of color, but I'm a very big fan of white. Nice, clean, simple with like just this little pop of color. But I also am not like a huge fan of like cartoony things, I guess, which is why I went with these. Like I didn't want like a road. I wanted something different, something a little more unique. So that's why I went with this. And like this count, like her shoulder counts as a piece, her whole neck is one piece, each lip is a different piece. That way, you know, once this is finished, hopefully this will be a good, a nice, you know, piece to look at. Let's see here. So this is a binder I've had for a really long time. That's why it's dirty. It's been in the safe. But I used to keep these in my wallet. This was for my household, my groceries, my rats, which have all sadly passed away. But now it'll be Azteca's envelope. And then for gas, but I might use them, and I might not. I'm not entirely sure yet. Just because there's not a lot to put in them. At this point, it's just kind of a free-for-all. As you can see with my budget, because on a normal day, on a normal week, I would have about $60 left for 2 weeks. Sometimes I babysit my nephew on the weekends, and sometimes I also sell stuff on eBay. Not as heavily as I used to, because that's why I owe $303 in Texas. But if you want to hear more about how I got into this whole situation, I can explain. It's really a whole lot of unfortunate events occurring close together. But so I have an envelope for rent. I have one for laundry because I don't have a washer dryer hookup here. Medical, that's a whole ordeal too. But a lot of these won't be getting filled. Car maintenance. Isaac, who's my nephew. Vacation. This was like for extra debt. Mexico, because sometimes we have to send money to Mexico, which is where my partner is from. If we know it's something we're gonna have to send in advance, I'll put it in here. I used to keep money in here. That way, if he needed it, he could just come and grab it and then go send it. This was my emergency fund, which I'm hoping to get back because, as you can see, I desperately need an emergency fund to try to stay away from the credit card so I can get it paid down. I used to have a category for for gifts for Christmas, and then I had a $1 challenge and then a blank envelope. But probably won't be doing much of these because I just don't have the income. It is literally a paycheck to paycheck. And I'm hoping that this is more maybe on point with what some people experience every time they get paid. I see a lot of budgeters, but I've never seen. Some of them make like $4,000 a month, which is just woo. If only. But I guess, of course, you know, if you make more, you sort of incur more debt, accidentally. But so this is where we're gonna stand for this one. So what I'll do is when I go to do laundry tomorrow, is I will draw out what is this, $320, and I'll put 120 in my debt envelope, and then I'll carry this money with me. This $20 will go to my partner because he'll be the one taking my dog to get his nails cut. So if he has it, great. If he, then I'll put this with groceries or something, or I'll save it, and we'll just kind of make do until the next paycheck, which I believe is June the 2nd. So, y'all, I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video.